This week, I'll lead you through a morning yin yoga practice for the hips. Sometimes it's nice to start the day with a slower practice and just take some time to check in with yourself. So let's get started. For this week's practice, some kind of a bolster or some pillows, some cushions or a rolled up blanket would be very helpful. We'll need something for our supported back bend and maybe for the other poses as well. So have some soft props around you, as many as you might imagine needing. And then we'll start from there. We're going to start from lying down on the back. So once you have gathered your props around you, just find an easy pose. You might have your legs bent, or you could extend your legs for a moment. Just give yourself a moment here to check in how you're feeling in the beginning of your practice. So I'm suggesting this is a morning practice, but of course you might be doing this practice at any time of the day. We are going to focus a bit more on the hip, pelvic area today. But as usual, there will be movements, poses for the spine. You might feel the practice around the shoulders as well. So let yourself focus on how you're feeling today, what you are feeling in this moment, and keep yourself safe. So if any pose, any movement hurts, don't do it. I'll try to give you some options so you can choose how you want to practice today. And then invite your awareness, your attention to your breath. You could bring hands onto your body, maybe one hand on the belly, other hand somewhere on the ribs, where you can feel the rib cage moving. And take a few slightly slower breaths in and out. Allow your breaths to move all the way down to your hands. Just notice where in your body you can feel your breath in this moment. Maybe it's morning time, maybe you're gently waking up yourself. So allow your breath to wake up as well, and just notice where you can maybe create some space for your breaths, or where your breaths could create space in your body. Let's take a couple more breaths here. And then if you have your legs extended, slowly bring your feet on the mat. So you're bending your knees. And then we'll open arms somewhere on the sides. Could be some kind of a cactus shape, T shape. And we'll do a few windshield wipers. Inviting movement to the hip joints. You can allow your whole pelvis to rock from side to side. If this is a morning practice for you, just notice how it feels to move after maybe a long night of sleep. Maybe it's been a shorter night, but just how it feels to invite some movement back to your body. You could also rock your head from side to side, invite some movement to your neck. And then we are going to slowly find our way into a longer twist. And on the first side, let's bring both legs to the right side. So you could bring your legs on top of each other. Find a reclining twist. Especially if it's now first longer pose in the morning. It might be that the back feels stiff. You could bring a pillow, a bolster between the legs or under the legs. That might help any achiness to be softened in the lower back. Could help the hips. And of course, you don't have to keep your left arm out on the side. Maybe it's better now to bring the arm lower down. Head could turn to one side or the other. So find a gentle twist. And just let yourself adjust until you find that place where you don't need to hold yourself, where there's no pain. And you can bring your awareness back to your breath. So find an edge where you feel you can breathe. Allow your in-breaths to slide down towards the lower back and all the way down towards the hips. Allow your breaths to be the movement in your practice, as we are inviting the body to find that stillness, that silence where we can then observe and maybe notice a bit more how we're feeling, where we are feeling. And let yourself practice with kindness. No need to push. No need to pull your body into any further than what feels good now. You might close your eyes, or if you feel that closing your eyes will make you fall asleep and you are trying to gently wake yourself up in the morning, then maybe it's better to keep the eyes open. Let yourself relax, but still keep yourself awake. We could spend another 5 to 10 breaths in this twist. If you start to feel that it's been already long enough, you are very welcome to come out of the pose earlier. You know best what's a good time for you today in this pose. But some discomfort might be okay. Sometimes when we are gently opening up the body or creating space, releasing tension, it is normal that there is some discomfort. We're just trying to avoid pain. We are not here to hurt ourselves. We are here to look after ourselves. And like I said, we are here to be kind to the body. When you arrive at the end of your 5 to 10 breaths, if you feel that you're ready to slowly release this twist, just take your time to slide back onto your back. So releasing legs back to center. You might need to move props aside and take a few breaths. Just lying down on the back. You might have your knees bent. You might want to extend your legs. You could move the neck from side to side, rock the head from side to side. And then, if you know you might need props on the other side, you can move them to your left side. We'll prepare for that same or similar twist on the other side. So when you're ready, bring your legs to your left side. Leaving chest open, so finding that open, reclining twist on the other side. And you might use props in a similar way, maybe a bolster, a pillow between the legs, under the legs if you want. You don't have to. And it might be that this side feels very different. Maybe you're using your props in a different way. Maybe it's actually under the right shoulder where you'd like some support. And if you have extra props, you could of course bring them also under the shoulder. Head could turn to one side or the other. And you can see where you want to have that right arm. What's good for the right shoulder, for your upper back. And then settle in with your breath. Allow your exhalations to soften tension that you don't need right now. Just let yourself observe where the pose, where your breaths take you. And if needed, you might adjust the pose along the way. So let the pose adjust to your needs. Let the pose serve you rather than you serving the pose. And we'll have another couple of minutes here. I'll give you a bit of silence, some quiet time here. We could spend another few breaths in that twist. Maybe a few just slightly deeper, slower breaths in and out. Exhaling tension there might be left. And slowly also preparing for the next transition. And on this side, we're going to come out of the pose just a bit differently. So now I'm suggesting that we leave legs on the left side of the mat and start to close the chest. So we're curling onto the left side to come out of the pose, turning towards the knees. And then we can move props away. Take a couple of breaths, just resting, lying down on your side. Our next poses will be on all fours and on hands and knees. We're going to go into some dragons and a child's pose. So when you feel ready, just slowly start to bring yourself up onto hands and knees. You could gather your props so you have them nearby. And on all fours, we're going to step the right foot forward. So finding that dragon shape. And you could, if you have some props there, you could bring a pillow, you could bring a bolster under the left thigh. So especially if you have sensitive knees, you might not want to lean weight onto the left knee. So instead you could bring a bolster, a cushion, either under the left thigh, or you might also bring it under the left knee if that feels good. And then if you have some extra cushions there, you could have something for your arms. You might lean hands onto some cushions, a bolster, or you could also lean elbows onto that cushion or bolster if you don't want to keep weight on your hands and wrists. But that's very optional. You might also just keep hands on the mat. Maybe both hands on the inside of the right foot or on each side of the right foot. Just find a shape that feels manageable. This is going to be a bit shorter pose. We're going to spend another couple of minutes here, but we are gently opening the line from the front of the left leg, so from that dragon tail all the way to the back or inside of that front leg. So you might feel some opening around the groin area, maybe in the inner thigh in that right leg, maybe hamstring, the back of the thigh in the right leg. And if you want, you might open your chest more if that feels good, in the shoulders, in your upper back. But we're not looking for intense sensations, so let yourself find a gentle edge. That's plenty enough for this morning. Again, if you're doing a morning practice, sometimes poses might feel a bit more intense in the morning when we've just gotten up, we've just slowly started to wake up the body. So don't push. A gentle sensation is plenty enough. And let's just take another 5 to 10 breaths here. Trying to keep shoulders and neck soft. You might lean your head down. And then after those 5 to 10 breaths, just gently start to bring your pelvis higher up. And then we're going to bring both knees behind us or next to each other. And we're going to go into a child's pose. And for this child's pose, you could bring a bolster, pillow between the legs. So if you feel that when you lean your pelvis back, you'd like to have some support under the pelvis, you could do that. You could also bring a pillow, bolster under your chest, belly or head, if that feels good. You could have both. So you could have support under your pelvis, but also under the upper body. Or you might do this child's pose without any props. Legs can be wider apart if that feels better, and the hips. And head can turn to one side or the other. Now after the dragon, we're going to try to release the wrists, the arms. You might even bring arms down next to your sides if that feels good. Let your breaths move all the way down towards the lower back, all the way down towards the back of the pelvis. All the way down towards the hips. And just allowing those gentle in-breaths to create space where space is needed. let the out breath soften tension around that space, inside that space. Now, if you have your head turned to one side, you could, with your next few breaths, try turning head to the other side and see if that feels still okay in the neck. We have another couple of minutes in this child's pose. Give yourself another 5 to 10 breaths in your child's pose. If you need to make any changes, any adjustments to your pose, you are very welcome to do that. Maybe those little adjustments allow you to stay those last few breaths in the pose. And then when you feel ready to do so, just slowly start to bring yourself back onto hands and knees. And we're going to give some gentle movement for the hips, the shoulders, the back before we do our dragon on the other side. If you need to move your props aside, feel free to do that. And then on hands and knees, just gently move, circle or rock the weight from hands to knees, knees to hands. It could be a very small movement. It might be circling, or you can just rock forward and back. You could rock from side to side as well. If you are circling, then change the direction and do a few circles the other way as well. And just notice how the movement feels now. We've done a few long poses already. We still have another few to go. And then when you feel ready for that second dragon, we are going to step the left foot forward. So from all fours, step your left foot somewhere close to hands or to your hands. And again, if you want something to support the right leg, you could have a pillow, you could have a bolster there, maybe under the right thigh or under the right knee. You could have another pillow, another bolster under the hands or under elbows if you want to come down onto elbows. And I'm suggesting to have both hands on the inside of the left leg, but that's completely up to you. Maybe for you it's better to have hands on each side of that left foot. Just settling into your dragon. Again, is there a way to find a dragon that's not too intense? Softening the neck, softening the shoulders. You might need to move the neck a bit. You might hang your head down as well. And notice your breath. Send your breaths down to those areas where it's needed. Where do you feel the pose now? And the second side might be completely different. That's very fine. Again, if some adjustments are needed, feel free to adjust the pose. Still have about a minute here. Another 5 to 10 calm, slow breaths in and out. Also open your chest. Maybe look forward. Finding what works for you. Give yourself a few more breaths in your dragon, your morning dragon, if it's morning to you. With your next few breaths, when you feel ready to slowly come out of this dragon, just lift the pelvis a bit higher up so you could release weight off your left foot. You could come back onto all fours. And then we are going to come sitting on the mat, and we're going to move into a supported back bend. So this is where we would need some kind of a support behind the back. So you could have a bolster, you could have a pillow, cushion behind the back. And we're going to recline on top of that support. So you could have your pillow lengthwise. If it's like a bolster, you could have it lengthwise. You could also turn it sideways. That's a slightly different back bend. So feel free to try which one works better for you today. Is it a sideways support under your back? If that feels too intense, then maybe having your bolster lengthwise so it supports your back and your head, that upper spine a bit more. And you choose where your legs are. So if you want, you could now just extend the legs, let them rest against the mat, against the floor. If that's too intense for the back, maybe leave your knees bent. That might be a bit easier on the lower back. Or if you'd like to give more focus in the hip pelvic area, then maybe a butterfly shape here, or crossing the legs would suit your body better now. So just find a shape that feels easy enough so you can start to relax into the pose, but also so that the pose gives you a focus point so you can invite your awareness. Sometimes if the pose is too gentle, it doesn't allow us to invite our awareness to the body. So sometimes some form of a stress or stretch or gentle compression somewhere in the body is needed. So having that physical sensation invites us to focus on what's happening in the body. And it serves as a focus point, just like we can use our breath as a focus point. So it's finding that kind of Goldilocks zone in the pose where it's gentle enough to relax in, but not too gentle, so that it's not giving us any kind of feedback, any kind of a focus in the physical body, in the physical self, in the practice. And I didn't even mention the arms yet. You could of course play with where the arms are. Are they higher up, lower down? You might even bring arms overhead. But all of these changes, they might affect your spine, and even just changing where the arms are might affect your hips as well. So it's a full body pose. We can't isolate the hips, the spine, or the shoulders. They're all connected. Now, if you have your legs in a cross-legged shape or any other kind of asymmetrical shape, and if you'd like to change that crossing or just change that asymmetrical shape to the other side, feel free to do that. And just continue to breathe, breathing through the pose, observing how the sensations might change, observing your thoughts. So rather than pushing thoughts away, invite them in, acknowledge your thoughts, and then let them go. So we are also practicing non-attachment. Acknowledging how we're feeling, acknowledging what we're thinking, acknowledging those physical sensations, emotions that might arise. We're not pushing them away, but allowing yourself to not get attached to any single thought, any single feeling or sensation. Just observing and letting go. Spend another 5 to 10 breaths in the back bend. But if you start to feel that it's getting too long, if the pose is becoming too long, again, if you start to feel pain, we don't need to push through the pain. Then you are very welcome to come out of the pose earlier. So accepting that maybe the time I'm suggesting is just a bit too long for you today. And that's very, very fine. Respecting your body and, again, being kind to yourself. Our bodies are different. So the length of time that suits one body today might not suit the other today. And then maybe the next day it's the opposite. So respect and listen to what you need today. And then, if you feel ready to come out of the pose, if you are still in that back bend, just slowly start to release arms, release legs. And then from lying down on the bolster, we are going to roll down onto one side. It could be the left or it could be the right side. See which one feels easier, which one feels more natural to you now. Slowly bring yourself up into a seat. And in that seat, you could lean onto your hands, keep your knees bent, and just swing the legs from side to side a few times. So windshield wipers. See how the hips feel now. We have a forward bend next. And this forward bend is going to be our last longer pose this morning. We're going to go into a forward bending deer. So we're going to do it to the right and to the left side separately. When you feel ready, I'm suggesting that we'll have our left leg in front first on the first side. So we would come sitting on the left hip, so left leg is in front. The angle in that left leg is between you and your body. You could have the left foot closer to your pelvis. You might have it further away. See what angle in the hip and the knee and in the ankle are good for you now. And you could have some props there, maybe some pillows, bolsters, so that if you want to lean onto them as we go into that forward bend, you have them available. And then just slowly start to walk further forward with your hands. Maybe you come down onto elbows. Maybe you pull some support under the chest, under the head. So like I said, there could be that pillow to support the upper body. Maybe leaning all the way down now is too much. So you could decide you want to stay a bit higher up. Maybe it's just leaning elbows onto a bolster, onto a pillow. So finding your edge. You might feel this pose somewhere around that left leg, maybe in the buttock, maybe in the thigh, or as you lean forward around the spine, maybe you start to feel it along the back, maybe in the neck. If the sensations are really intense in the neck, see if you could find something to support the head, so you could lean your head onto something. And just notice your breath. And we keep coming back to the breath, back to that internal flow, that internal movement. At times, the stillness might feel challenging, and that's fine. That's very okay. And you can focus on observing the movement, your breath, and see if that can help you to stay in the pose just a bit longer, just a moment longer. And we could spend another 5 to 10 breaths in this forward bend on the first side. If the pose still feels manageable, if it still feels safe, exhale tension there might be left, so observe where you could let go of tension, where you don't need it right now. Maybe there are some areas where you still need to hold that tension. Maybe that tension is supporting something that needs support right now. That's all okay. And then either after your 5 to 10 breaths, or again when you feel ready to do so, slowly start to bring your back, your neck, your head up. Roll the shoulders, you can move your neck. You can turn head from side to side a few times. You could lean away from that forward bend, maybe extend the legs out, open the chest. And then we'll do same to the other side. So on the second side, we'll bring the right leg in front, left leg somewhere behind us, next to us. On this side, again, might be a completely different story. So give yourself a moment to explore the angles in your legs. Maybe you lean forward and then you need to come back up. Maybe you try a few different ways of using the props. Maybe they are supporting your upper body. Maybe they're supporting your head. Again, you might lean head to one side or the other. Finding that edge where you still can breathe. And where you can let yourself, breath by breath, soften into the pose. And continue to observe your breath. Give yourself another 5 to 10 breaths here. And just exhaling tension there might be left. You could even let out a sigh through the mouth. And then when you feel ready, when it's been long enough in the pose for you, just slowly start to help your back, your neck, your head up. You can take your time. Again, you could move your shoulders, you could move your neck, maybe turn head from side to side a few times. Sometimes forward bends can be quite intense in the morning. The whole back side of the body might feel a bit stiffer in the mornings. And then just find your own final seat. If you want to extend the legs, move the legs on the way into your final seat. Let yourself do that. We are not going to go into Shavasana pose now. I'm suggesting it's a practice you could do in the morning, so going back into Shavasana might make us just a bit sleepy. So we're going to end the practice today in a seat. So let this seat, final seat, be a comfortable one. You can sit on a prop, you can support your knees, you can support your pelvis. Or you might also decide to sit back against a wall. That might be a nice support for the back, for the hips. So find an easy seat. You could rest your hands on your knees, on your legs, or you could bring your hands onto your body. Maybe one hand on the chest, other hand somewhere on the belly. And once more, invite your awareness back inwards, back to your breath. Allowing yourself to notice once more how you feel. And allowing yourself to observe and notice without any judgment. There's no right or wrong way to feel. There's no right or wrong way to be here. Just notice how you feel now as we're slowly coming to the end of our practice. If you notice that you will need some more rest now or after this practice, just give yourself some extra time in Shavasana pose. So us closing this practice together doesn't mean that your practice needs to end. Continue to listen to what you need and what is best for you this morning, today, whenever you are doing this practice. If it's part of your practice, you might bring your palms together if you'd like to end this practice together. As always, at the end of the practice, most importantly, thank yourself for taking some time to slow things down, taking some time to observe how you are feeling today. And I thank you very much for joining in, for sharing this yin practice. Namaste. Thank you.